Yeah. Hey. Woo. Wow. Let's go. Untamed. Wake up.
Good morning.
Yeah.
First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Wake up, 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 wake up. Wake up.
Time to wake up. Shout out Sherman Wells.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up. You better wake up from this
Time to wake up in more than one way.
This culture's not your reality. You better unplug or be a cat.
Don't say woke. We might get shut down.
Struggling and moving is keeping us off from our greatness. We gotta spread the love and stop hating. Then rearrange these front pages from murdering.
Fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Happening right now. We appreciate you joining us on this 17th day of November, 2025. It is Monday. And man, I'm feeling like it's Monday. How about you?
Yeah. Feeling like it's Monday.
It does feel like it's Monday. Pops gives us a good Monday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Larry Keister gives us a happy, marvelous Monday. Judy Prinzer says marvelous Monday, fam. Everybody feeling marvelous. Feeling marvelous. I'm marvelous, darling.
How you doing, man?
I'm marvelous. RG gives us the morning. Y'all need some more of them 70s temps we had last week. That's real. It did warm up nicely. But
this way.
you know what it is. You know what's gonna be soon. So get ready now. Marlon Harrison says good morning, First Guy fam, and happy motivational Monday.
Okay.
Marlon, you feeling marvelous?
I'll take motivation.
Let me tell you what. I don't know if he's feeling marvelous, but he was looking marvelous at the 100 black men. Shout out to Marlon Harrison, man on the street, coming back with the photo.
Man about town.
Hooray. Yeah, man about town. That's what's up. Appreciate you, man. We have to talk about what went down. Lots happened over this weekend for sure. There was a lot of award shows and a lot of people dressed up, looking good.
Okay.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm seeing some good reports here and there. 100 black men had their celebration, and of course the senators who we're gonna be speaking of today.
Hey,
were out there decked out for the 20th annual Men of Honor Gala. Yeah, it was dope. You know what it is? It is Senators Cypher Monday. That means we'll be talking to Senator Terrell Mckinney, Senator Ashlei Spivey. Look at Precious decked out. They was decked, bro.
Yeah,
had me looking for my tux.
Yeah, shout out to my man Chris McCroy, president of the 100 Black Men. Yeah,
that's what's up. Yeah.
Remember we introduced at the Whites event.
There you go. And I actually met him right when he got that position at a different Whites event a few years back, and we never got a chance to get around and kind of talk about what he had planned. But I see that there's some things going on.
Yeah,
that we definitely need to have him on the show and talk about. So let us know how that event went if you were there. I appreciate you guys representing and bringing back photos.
Word.
And lots of other things too. We'll get into it. We'll definitely get into it. But before we do, how you doing? How you feeling today, buddy? What's going on?
Man, I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, but I'm here. I'm definitely feeling good overall, man. Just had a pretty long weekend finishing up. Do have a new episode of
Lanes of Change.
Yep, on the way. So that's looking pretty good. Also, my middle child, my baby girl, she had turned 7 over the weekend. So took her out to eat, got her some skates, went skating around a little bit. Yeah. Spent some family time. So that was cool. But yeah, all in all, man, feeling good, feeling great. We got about a month left in this season, man. So definitely mentally preparing for that. We, of course, as always, planning on some changes and have some things coming down the pipe. So excited about that. But yeah. How about you, man?
That's what's up. Yeah, you said it all. I kind of absolutely am excited about the break for one thing. We are excited about making these changes to what it is. So we come back from the break, we'll be doing some things differently. Can't wait to get into what that's going to be. But also that the season coming up in January 15th is Follow the Money. We're going to be looking at that. And I'm already seeing a whole lot of articles, a whole lot of things pointing to the fact that we need to be taking a little closer look at a lot of things. And as a matter of fact, we'll get started talking about some of that today. So start looking around, man. There's no way to get around it. There's going to be so much talk about what's being funded, what funds are being taken away. it's just a lot. And this time around, man, I'm really looking forward to trying to dig in more about economic development, more about personal finances, more about starting investment clubs and all the stuff that we can kind of do for ourselves under this guise and theme of like, what are we doing for ourselves about it?
Man.
You know, so we'll continue those conversations, but we still have a little bit left in this spaces and places season as well. We'll be talking about a few things. Before we get to it, I see Miss Erica Felt giving us a good morning. Appreciate you coming in this morning, and also putting an article in Friend of First Sky Omaha. We were kind of looking around for an article about that hemp situation, and you had one in there. Appreciate you. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Appreciate that very much. Black Dynamite in the chat saying good morning, y'all. How's everybody feeling? Mark Banner giving us a good morning. Man, you guys are coming in hot this morning. Appreciate you guys. Sean McCarthy says good morning, First Sky Nation. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I heard that.
Fam.
And cousin, man, Alan Faison in the chat saying good morning, First Sky in the morning.
Hey.
In the morning, fist up.
Yeah.
Yep. Appreciate you guys. We'll jump right into some top headlines in anticipation of our guests coming in. Of course, again, this is Senators Cypher Monday, so hopefully we'll be speaking to Senator Ashlei Spivey and Senator Terrell McKinney. Before we get in there, though, let's go ahead and jump into a few community updates. It's more so just kind of reviews of some things that's happening. We already talked about 100 black men that went down. Of course, Marlon Harrison, man about town, was out there chopping it up, hanging out with the fellas, hanging out with the sisters. Where's that other picture of Marlon? Look at Marlon.
Good. Okay.
Man, come on, Marlon.
Okay.
Looking smooth out there, man. He got a fresh cut. I'm like, this man is taking his job seriously, man. About town. That's what's up.
Yeah, everybody fresh, man. Fellas got what's that? That look like a fresh shave right there.
I mean, the whole nine, bro. Decked out. Of course, our new mayor, was speaking at 100 Black Men. Seemed like everybody was in the room, so that was good, man. It was a good turnout, and we'll be talking to, as a matter of fact, I saw a few more people there. We'll talk to Senator Spivey and some other folks that was there too. So lots went on there with this gala, but there was other things that went on too. Of course, the Parlor Awards just happened. Yeah, shout out to Stable Gray, our partners over there at Stable Gray, who put the Parlor Awards together, and apparently it went off really well. And a lot of good people were recognized, and then that was the most important part. So it was kind of an all day affair, is what I heard, and then there were some speeches and all kinds of stuff that went on. So we'll have to have some of the brothers on from Stable Gray to talk about how the Parlor Awards went. But it's always good when you can recognize and celebrate people in the community doing stuff. So shout out to them for doing that as well. By the way, we got to deliver our Spaces the Place Award to Marcy Yates the other day as well. I didn't get a picture of it, but he was very happy and very humbled by it, and I appreciate all the work that he's doing over there. He's getting recognized all over for the providing the space.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? For providing a space for people to thrive. That's what it's all about. Yep. So that's what's going on there, and then of course Christy Nor's event happened as well. Let me get that's the picture I was looking for. Yes, it looks like she had a good turnout, a lot of support. I see big Sherm in the house, and yeah, man, big Sherm fool. yeah, he was in the house, and she had a nice turnout. I got to speak to some people as well. I hope that if she gets on this morning, can tell us about the lineup, everything that went down. I see Shawnee out there with the charcuterie cart. So that's what's up, man. Black business supplying some food for the event. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, man. Shout out to Christy Nora for doing the work, putting her money where her mouth is, running for office, Legislative District 12. So yeah, if you're out there, support her, and hopefully we'll talk to her a little bit more about her campaign as we go too. So that's happening. Also, before we get out of here, just want to talk a little bit about the library, because the library. We gotta talk more about what's going on at the library. There's Christy Nora in the chat right there saying good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you.
Top
of the morning. But yeah, man, the library is a serious partner. I know that we talked last week about the trip I took over there to see it. It was the open house. It's not going to open to the public till April, but they're showing us what's going on inside, and of course the libraries are still running all around. So this is also happening. This is happening at the Abrahams branch, November 21st at 7:00. Found Family Stories After Dark. Join us for a fun storytelling event for adults. And if I know these folks well enough, I know that a lot of times they got like a wine and sip. They have a story and sip type of situation. I'm not sure if it's going to be wine at this one, but this is the kind of events that they put on, man. They really make life lively for the library, and it's good timing. I'm glad we have the library crew that we have, because with this new branch and the way that we're the only ones in the country that have this branch and the all the technology and stuff around it, and how the technology is going to go to all the branches in Omaha, which is unprecedented as well. We have a nice library crew that's got a bunch of beautiful ideas on just love soldiering, just having the art there, and having spaces to gather, making third space fun, all the stuff. So I really want to keep on pushing out some of the stuff that they got going on, and this is one of them coming up November 21st. Stories After Dark. Definitely check into it, man. Get with your library, big time. Get with your library. I'm trying to tell you right now. We got something
not
special.
to mention all the other resources that come with the library card. Man, getting the zoo and some more stuff.
Come on, man.
Check them out.
You need Netflix, man. You can rent.
Man.
Yeah, it's a trip. I highly suggest you get in there and check it out. The library has lots to offer. It's a whole ecosystem. It's a whole scene, and so far still free to us, free to the public. So far, never know what can happen in this administration. Donnell Sessions in the chat giving us a good morning. Appreciate you. Miss Erica Felt in the chat says, I owe you an article. Lots going on, but eventually see y'all. The interviews have been done. So we got Miss Erica Felt, woman about town, writing some articles. So shout out to the content creator camp, citizen journalism that we've been trying to push. Appreciate everybody who's been involved with that, especially you, Miss Erica Felt. Appreciate you very much. Also, Sue Kessler Hagen gives us a good morning. RG says, but the question is, how many plates did Marlon smash at 100 Black Men? 2-plate crew. Marlon says the gala was super amazing this year. We had a couple of big wigs from the 100 Black Men of America corporate office that came this year.
Nice.
We need to talk about what the 100 Black Men do. I know that people have been hearing 100 Black Men all over town, but what they do, we need to really kind of talk about it so you know what's happening. This is an organization to support because they do some mentoring for the young folks. We're always talking about what the young folks need and how family needs support. Well, there are organizations out here that do such things. And this is actually a national organization. And we have a chapter here in Omaha, and 100 Black Men is being run by a young Black man who's making some moves out here. So something to get into. We'll definitely do it. Marlon said only 3 plates.
Only
2 salad plates and 1 main dinner plate. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you.
Okay. Hey, eating good, man. Fed the folks. That's what it's about.
That's what's up. Marlon, here's the picture of me and all those people was my family. Hey, it was a family affair. Okay. Love that. Okay. Love that. That's what's up, man.
Damn.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Marlon. Really, really do, man. It's good to see you when you're about town. I know we're gonna get a good story back. So appreciate you and all the photos that you take and the work that you do. Heather Williams gives us a good morning, everyone. Appreciate everybody coming in early. Do us a favor, share the show. If you're on Facebook, you can share it on your page. If you're on YouTube, do us a favor and share the link to somebody who you think might benefit from this conversation. We'd love to get as many voices in as we can and have some discussion. And again, this is Senators Cypher Monday, so we're anticipating speaking with Senator Ashlei Spivey and Senator Terrell Mckinney, catching up with them on a few things. Of course, we were reporting some things last week that we were anxious to talk to Senator Mckinney about. So can't wait to revisit some of those things and get word from him on some of the stuff that's happening around town. But in the meantime, between time, we do have a thread and some things that we want to talk about today as well in the news. I'll throw it over to Buddy. Buddy, what's going on today?
Yeah, it's a couple of things to get into. Of course, we're here for the next 2 hours, so try to touch on a few conversations. But starting with going from one organization to another, from 100 Black Men to talking about U-Turn, who apparently just received a grant. So dive into that, and we'll definitely love to hear your feedback about U-Turn. Not really too sure. I mean, I've seen a lot of their work out there, but again, love to hear your take on it. U-Turn, putting in the work, violence prevention. Also, speaking of programs going behind bars this time, shout out to Paul Philman, friend of First Guy, sharing this story on Friends of. A band of brothers. Nebraska Public Media is reporting on a running club inside of an Omaha prison, which is, again, we talk about spaces and places. We try to, any story that really tells a story and gives a glimpse of life behind bars. You try to highlight that to remind us, our brothers and sisters are still back there, still living, still fighting, still growing. not to be forgotten by society, man. So again, shout out to those struggling behind bars, man. I got a couple of family members myself, so and also all the warriors trying to help them out. Paul Philman, Senator Terrell McKinney, and the like, man. Thank you. But yeah, moving along, man. To some people that are trying to put you behind bars. Ron Hug, man, this guy is tripping, man. Not necessarily behind bars, but yeah.
You want to find?
You haven't heard about these new parking rules? What'd you say?
He want to find poor people.
Man, and just the law itself is just kind of confusing. We'll be talking about it. This new change or new possible ordinance from Omaha City Council. Also, a shout out to the good folks at Flatwater Free Press for doing this report on Union Pacific. We kind of talked about it, but as Paul mentioned, next season is Follow the Money, and the bulk of this episode we'll kind of be talking about it, following the money a little bit. Of course, Union Pacific recently reportedly donated millions to Trump's White House ballroom blitz, and now it's being reported about a $1 billion merger. Quite yeah, just the timing is quite peculiar on that, and it doesn't stop there. Of course, shout out to Miss Erica Feld, again, friend of First Guy, content creator, alumni, sharing the story from High Times Magazine, talking about the hemp ban that went down, of course, over the weekend. The big news as far as the government being open back up. But what does that mean? What does that look like? We're gonna follow the money a little bit today. So we'll talk about some pockets being lined, some lobbies getting active. And of course, looking at this, also big news coming out of Nebraska becoming the first state in the nation to approve a first digital asset bank. Nebraska getting into cryptocurrency. What does that mean? Kind of space in place, follow the money, kind of amalgamated conversation. Your money in the digital space. Are y'all in the cryptocurrency? We'll definitely be talking about all that and more throughout the next 2 hours. Of course, if there's anything that we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat. If we're missing the mark, let us know. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yeah, man. We're going to take a quick break and dive into this because there's a lot to talk about today. Judy Prince in the chat says the running article was great. Good. I'm glad you read it. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing about it. She also says if I want to park on my lawn, I will. All right, Ron Hug will have you paying a $500 fine to park on your own lawn. So we'll see how that works. Anthony Rogers Rice says people who park their cars on their grass can get fined, while bad landlords who let properties and structures waste away get a pass due to the alabaster puppet master. MOPOA who own Hug. Definitely got lots to talk about on that one, man. I was so mad at that article. I just couldn't even. I'm just so tired, bro. Where else in all of Omaha are people having to park on grassy areas and on the lawns? And it's only North and South Omaha that got this problem. That's got the older, narrower streets. You can't always park on. We'll get into it. It's ridiculous. Mama God in the chat saying good morning. Appreciate you. Good morning to you. She says Pillin and DJT need to announce their engagement. He's his ride or die. Ooh-wee. Y'all coming with the shots this morning.
Hey, we're gonna talk about it though. Hey, nobody told a lie yet. Y'all on point.
Ain't no lies told. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back and jump in. Listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Coming in hot. Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beeee, buddy to God. It's gonna be a funky winter. I'm feeling it.
Really?
Yeah, man. I'm feeling it. I'm just thinking about. Like I'm ready to hibernate up and cook up all winter. We'll come back to it.
Hey, my first song was a Christmas song. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Whoo! Come on with it. You guys don't know what we're talking about yet, but we'll get to it.
yeah, we're live.
Drop. We got some stuff to drop. But before we get into those, go ahead and jump into the conversation, buddy. What's first on the agenda this morning?
Yeah, man. I guess this maybe the affirmative, maybe not. Again, I've been on a track of trying to start, really doing the opposite. Like it's, we watch traditional news. If it bleeds, it leads. We know how it goes, man. I was watching, I think WOWT the other day. Within the first 30 seconds, man, somebody got hit by a car. Somebody got bombed. I'm like, dang. Can we, man?
We ease into the bad news a little bit.
And then they hit me with the weather. So it's just like, man. So again, I'm trying to do something a little different than what you traditionally are familiar with and start with some, more positive news. But here again, let me know about this organization, U-Turn. This is reported by Channel 7. Apparently, Mayor Ewing is making the announcement, again, sharing the news on his social media. But again, big news, $100,000 going to U-Turn, the gun violence and violence prevention program, which is actually touting, again, a 70% drop in gun violence in North Omaha. That's according to the nonprofit U-Turn. And again, they say that they just received $100,000 at the right time, feeling like they are being impacted by some of the federal rollbacks. And saying it shows that what we need to do is very impactful. It's important, and it remains a high priority for every town. And so for us, we're very thankful. Again, Every Town is the organization, Every Town Community Safety Fund, which is a part of a $2.67 million national-wide fund. It was the entity that gave this grant. Again, U-Turn Assistant Director Stuart Giddings said the support comes at a critical time, saying we've been receiving and awarded this grant for a number of years. But again, the federal rollbacks have had an impact, saying as federal rollbacks reduce access to funding, it's critical that trusted organizations like U-Turn can continue their life-saving work. As I mentioned, I've seen several posters and some of the yard signs and things around Omaha. But me, myself, not personally, engaged with U-Turn or haven't been in U-Turn programs. But I think about when I see these kinds of stories, these kind of programs, I think about what you say, Paul, as far as a lot of people might have something to say about what they are doing, but what if they weren't around? What could the situation really look like? So again, they deal with youth violence prevention, $100,000 towards it. We're here for it.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's lots of course, we always talk about the nonprofit industrial complex that we have here in Nebraska, and we always talk about the fact that nonprofits are there to fill a gap. There's a problem. There's something that the government is not taking care of. There's a problem in communities, and these nonprofit organizations pop up to fill some gaps. I always am always a little bit skeptical about some of the self-reporting about all the good that is happening. I mean, how do you actually qualify 70% less gun shootings and stuff like that? Not really sure how that works, but again, I always jump to the other side of that. Like if they weren't here preventing something, then what would happen here? And then, I try to stay away a little bit from thinking about where's the money coming from and where, and what is it going to exactly. Everybody has their own style in their nonprofit on how it is they're going to spend this money. This particular one I found interesting because it was Mayor Ewing who posted it. And I don't see him post a lot of news articles like this when we're just scouring the news for things to talk about here. I came across his page like, oh, it's the first time I ever seen him post anything. And we already know that Mayor Ewing is been instrumental with the Omaha Empowerment Network in the 360 meetings and all the things that they do there to prevent violence. So I wonder if U-Turn is in the network. I wonder if they're connected. And I tend to try to figure out whether, look at it objectively and see if these people are saying they're making an impact, they're the ones that are looking at this thing. They're the ones that are in the trenches working. They're the ones that are coming up with these reports. how would things be if they weren't here? Is where I go on that. So I mean, there's obviously some efforts there. I just don't. I don't know how to take the information that they have decreased it by 70%. Is it just the number that it was before? And now it's this, and how do they attribute their work to that? Those are all questions. But again, I'm believing people in energy. So energetic people who are putting their efforts toward a situation is making some kind of difference. So, where would we be if they weren't here? Black Dynamite in the chat says, I wasn't sure what U-turn was. And all I know is that they got their building torn down for the second best. What do you say? They got their build torn down for the second best high school football stadium in the city.
Yeah, you try to talk about North, man. He's throwing shots, man. Even though we get championships around here.
Ooh,
he reminded me the U-turn building was at, if you remember, the Butler Gas YMCA. It was a U-turn building right next to it. Which is reminding me. I do actually remember some classmates going to that building for after school programming, and I think they even did some jobs and things like that. And I think you are right. I do think U-turn is a part of the Empowerment Network, which kind of goes more towards just the need for more information from the network, like trying to understand just what it is. Like we understand now that it is a network, but who's a part of the network? How big is it? Again, we see organizations getting busy around the community, but you don't necessarily quite know, like nobody's wearing the Empowerment Network badge, like we're a part of the network. You know what I mean? It's just people out doing work, and if you know, you know, and if you don't, then you don't.
Well, and we're, that's one of the things that we're trying to do with Empowerment Network is to decipher some of that and explain some of that. But Empowerment Network also recognizes they got to come and let us know as well. So it's one thing to just do the work, but it's also imperative to report what's going on. So we'll definitely keep working on that to find out what's going on and find out who's in the network. I mean, there's so many moving parts. It's kind of tough. I kind of looked into it myself, and it's like there's a lot of people in the network. A lot of organizations in the network, and what are they doing and what does it mean? I'd like to see some kind of like centralized reports. I feel like Empowerment Network has done that, and they've kind of presented that to the powers that be and politicians and so on. But how can we translate that to the people understanding exactly what's going on? This is all something we'll keep on working on. But I got to say, the organizations are here to fill gaps. If there wasn't a gap to be filled, they wouldn't exist. They wouldn't last. So we all know we're coming off of a week where there was some gun violence and some people that are getting convicted of gun violence, and some things going on here. So we obviously have a need, and there's an issue here, and you can debate on how much impact any organizations are doing, but at least somebody's doing something. So
there you go. If anybody has any input or any interaction, any stories about U-turn, feel free to drop that into the chat. But let's keep it moving, man. Going from violence prevention to those behind bars already, trying to turn them around. Actually, quite literally, running in circles, if you will. Talking about the running club. Shout out to Nebraska Public Media for this report. And Paul Philman, actually, friend of First Guy, for sharing this, and friends of. Apparently, again, this is about the OCC run crew, Omaha Correctionals run crew. Who has a half marathon. Actually, they just ran their inaugural half marathon on November 8th and exceeded the organizers' expectations. One Connie Garro, who's one of the volunteers with the group, says these guys just kept on going and going. I guarantee we could describe how they each were throughout this entire half marathon. Every one of them was different. Again, the program actually is dope. In this article, they do acknowledge the documentary I was telling you about, Paul, 26.2 to Life, which is a documentary that highlights a similar program in San Quentin Prison. If you haven't seen that documentary, definitely check out that documentary, a dope documentary that just really talks about running in prison organizations and how it affects the inmates. Again, we work closely with recidivism. Shout out to Diane Good and the whole rap reentry program crew. Again, we've gone behind bars to try to teach our brothers and sisters about, actually not behind bars, but again, Paul met with individuals who are incarcerated to teach them about journalism and the possibility of journalism. So anytime we hear any kind of program, again, connecting the people to something, to grow themselves, to expand their minds, definitely all for it. A lot of physical fortitude, but also mental growth happening through this program. So again, shout out to everybody behind it. Shout out to all that have read it. I think Marianne said it was pretty good, or Judy Prinzer said the article is pretty good. So yeah, check it out.
And shout out to Flatwater Free Press, man. They're really expanding their news outlets. They're bringing on more journalists, and you can kind of see some of their articles deepening and getting into some good territories as well. So if you haven't signed up to Flatwater Free Press, it's a free situation. You can go over there and check it out. Go to flatwaterfreepress.org and check out their articles. And I highly encourage you to do that pretty regularly because they are, like I said, they're expanding and it's looking pretty good over there. A lot of entertaining articles, even some of the deep dives. They're also going for deep dive stuff. So, we're in the media business, in the news business, and we're looking at building our news desk out and adding journalists. And we're finding out that journalists that do investigative journalism are the most rare, the most expensive journalists that there are out there. And Flatwater has been hiring several. Man. So we're going to get more deep dives and good stuff from a world-class journalism organization that we happen to be connected to. So highly encourage you to go check out their articles. They're getting down right now. Shout out to Wanda Lewis, who's in the chat, giving us a good morning. Appreciate you. Katie L giving us a good morning, everyone. Thank you. Also, Black Dynamite says half marathon is super dope. I mean, I got friends that do this voluntarily because they are just like, this is something that's going to be good for my life. They train hard for it. It's definitely a positive to be able to accomplish a thing like that. I am way far away from being able to run a half marathon. So shout out to these brothers for real. Yeah.
It's a feat. So
yep. Marlon Harrison has a quick question before we get to the next break. He says, should organizations like U-Turn and the 100 Black Men post on social media on what they do and how they help the community? I think it would help. This is where we're on social media because that's where y'all at. So you kind of got to meet people where they're at for sure. But it is messaging too. We need to think about, what that means. And I think that testimonials from people that received help probably would work better. Is to tell the story, have somebody else tell your story for you. So that might help. And it's also a proof of concept when you have people that have actually been helped and they have a testimony. So that would be my answers to that question, Marlon, and my suggestion to those organizations as they go. So there you go. Kimmer Snipes also give us a good morning. I didn't mean to leave you out. How you doing?
Hey, Sister Kimmer. But I am thinking about that kind of like who works in. It's not like we're dealing with marketing gurus who work in these nonprofits. Right. A lot of them are, actually trauma experienced people who have usually dealt with the very thing that they're working in. Be it, domestic abuse, homelessness, drug addiction, incarceration. And they're just, helping others navigate through that themselves and busy doing the work. And it a lot of times in the nonprofit space, it does kind of only dawn to you to report and look up and try to quantify the work that you're doing when it unfortunately comes time for funding. Like that's really the main time. But yes, Marlon, I do think just nonprofits in general should be more communicative on the work that they're doing and the impact, more importantly, beyond just for funding.
Right. And, this is an issue with a lot of different businesses, even for-profit companies. We all are guilty of not spending enough money on marketing to kind of show what we have to offer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, especially when you're in a situation where the money that you're trying to raise is going to help people directly. So how do you justify breaking off some of that bread to go pay the social media marketer? You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough situation, but like I said, we've kind of taken it on ourselves. Our partnership kind of lies in this area where we're trying to talk more about it and show more about it as well. We're the ones that are in communication. So we're going to try to work on that and help certain organizations like Black Agenda Alliance, like, just trying to be ministers of information for people to be able to understand things better. But it is a responsibility of these organizations to be able to tell you what's happening too. So right. We'll keep on working with them on that because, first and foremost, though, please do the work. Please stop the shootings. Please help the children. Please support the families.
Man, and yeah, we'll try to get the word out.
It's 7:34 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we'll take a quick break and come right back. Again, we're anticipating our Senators Cypher this morning. Senator Ashlei, Spivey, Senator Terrell, Mckinney. They should be on shortly and we can jump into a conversation with them. So do us a favor, share the show on your page. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, please share the link. Let's get as many voices in as we can. Have some good discussion. What's that? What's that?
Bill King. First of all, good morning, brother Bill King. He says Jesus advertised. He also had 12 disciples. I mean, I'm just saying.
I love it. I appreciate that. We'll get into your comments when we come back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. First Guy Omaha in the morning. Yo. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning. All Beeee, buddy to God. One of the plans that we have for next season is to jump back on the fan base and really kind of dig in over there as well. We'll have to get to talking about what's going on with a lot of these organizations, a lot of these social media organizations, including Microsoft, including Google. There's all these places right now that are doing stuff like scraping your data. Government is working with ICE. Some of them are working with ICE to look at your data. What's going on? But there's some organizations out there, especially some Black-owned social media organizations like this one, that is not allowing any of that to happen. They're not working with anybody on scraping your data and doing all that stuff. So we're going to be looking at these things and trying to steer some folks there. We still have a fan base account. We haven't been using it because there's not a lot of you on there. But we're going to be pushing on that next season too, and we got to start talking about it. We're getting a lot of reports, a lot of underground reports right now about your data being scraped, you being tracked.
Who's that peeking in my window? Wow.
Nobody now. It's going down. Kimber says, "Leave me out of it. I just got here. You ain't in nothing. We were just saying hi." Also, Wanda Lewis says many nonprofit organizations doesn't actually work with at-risk individuals. Very true.
Okay.
Very true. This is the quote of the day right here, though. Jesus advertised. Kimber Snipes says our annual impact report is on our website. That's what's up. What's up. Yeah, each individual organization gotta do an impact report, and yes, most of the time you can find them and you can see. Appreciate that. And furthermore, this is what I say though. This is what I think about. Like I think about this. Like I see what Kimber's doing and what One Omaha's doing. I've witnessed, some of the work that's been done on that end. So like it's not just the report. Like I haven't never went to One Omaha website and looked at the impact report. I just see the impact that y'all doing in the community. So like we need both of those things. We need the report and to be able to see it real time as well. So that's what's up. Wanda Lewis says they are more community focused on events. Yeah, it's interesting to try to decipher like what an organization thinks is important, where they put their efforts. As an organization ourselves, we think about this kind of stuff all the time. Where should we be putting our efforts for maximum impact? What is the impact we're trying to make? It's not just reports. Impact reports we need to be looking at, but we need to review people's mission statements. What is it they're actually trying to do? Are they meeting that? They do it all the time. We constantly have conversations about whether or not our actions are meeting our mission. And sometimes our mission starts to waver or our mission gets more refined and we have to make more adjustments. There's definitely a lot of stuff that we need to be looking into when it comes to any organization, for profit or nonprofit. As far as I'm concerned, this blackout that's coming up, we will talk about that a little bit later on the show. But this blackout is really based around like who's funding this regime,
man,
and can you follow the money and figure out where you can pull yours so that you're not supporting that? I mean, it depends on ownership, who owns it, what their mission statement is, what their impact is, what they're doing in the community, what you can see anecdotally. lots to dig into when it comes to that. Not just the nonprofit organizations, but the for-profit ones too. And you got to do some studying. You're in this world too. We got to figure it out. So anyway, just want to do that. Also, Kimmer says you shouldn't have to decipher. We're in the process right now of getting ready to put our strategic plan in our on our website, and I'm also going on a tour to present the strategic plan to the community. There you go.
Yeah, nice.
That's what's up. Appreciate that, brother Pina Vadaderas in the chat saying hello. Good morning to you. Mama Chapman in the chat. Good morning. Say U-Turn's claim of 70% reduction in violence is questionable, given the almost daily reports of violence in the community. Yeah, I mean, you can question, but like I said, how much more violence would there be if there weren't these efforts is also hard to measure, and figure out. But point taken. 741. If you believe in the concept of time, buddy, what you over there thinking about?
Man, I'm right along with you, man. I think you teed it up quite nicely as far as following the money a little bit. As you mentioned, we will definitely get into this blackout here because we like to talk about solutions here on the show, and that is a solution to really everything we've been talking about that's being presented. We're about a week out, actually, from this supposed blackout. It's supposed to be from November 25th to December 2nd. But before we get into, the details of that blackout, I do want to kind of lay out, a little bit of the why. There's several stories dealing with following the money. And I'll start with this Ron Hug situation because actually initially I didn't read it with the intention of following the money. But shout out to Brother Anthony Rogers Wright and reminding us of the behemoth and just the lobby, if you want to call it that, of the Metro Omaha Property Owners Association, aka MOPOA, and some of the flexing that we've seen them do over the last several years, especially as we get into this whole fighting the towers and trying to find quality affordable housing for our brothers and sisters out there. We've seen again these property owners flex some power, and I'm wondering if that is behind this new legislation or proposed ordinance from Councilman Ron Hug, which is completely paternal, if you ask me. I mean, and quite confusing. On top of that, if you didn't hear, again, a new Omaha City ordinance could change where residents are allowed to park, going from $25 to $250 fines for parking on the grass, which is quite confusing because if I'm not mistaken, didn't they just outlaw you parking on the street? So if you can't park on the street, you can't park on the grass. Properties aren't where can you park?
And as a matter of fact, as a point, Mayor Stother shot this down when Mayor Stother was mayor. So it's back. We'll have to see if the new mayor shoots it down. But where is this going to be affected more than North and South Omaha? Judy Prince earlier in the chat said, I'll park on my grass at my house if I want to. Well,
yeah, and they're applying the pressure to everybody. Again, this is enforcement would apply to vehicle owners, property owners, landlords, and tenants. So again, the proposed ordinance would impose fines ranging from $25 to $250 for violations in residential areas.
Yeah. This is back in the situation, and I saw the Channel 3 article or the Channel 3 news piece that was put out. This and just hearing what he had to say about it, just I don't even want to go into it. I was just so frustrated at leave people alone. What are you doing? He's claiming that he's getting a lot of calls from these neighbors that are complaining his constituents need for people to quit parking on grass and so on and so forth. We have more narrow streets in North and South Omaha. It's inevitable if you have 2 or 3 cars in the house because you got a family. You're going where are you? So what are you supposed to do?
Black Dynamite coming with the theory. He says they want you to not have a car like LA or NYC and use that streetcar thing.
Mark Mander says, who cares if people park on grass? An issue is people blocking sidewalks and vehicles, sending kids, parents, and strollers and elderly and other into busy streets. Right. Clear, make sure the walkways are clear so people don't have to go out into the street to walk. And who cares where else they park? It's so ridiculous. And where else? I just think about other places that, of course, North and South Omaha. There's places in Central Omaha. Any of the older parts of Omaha is going to have more narrow streets, and everybody's not going to have a paved situation. You gotta pay a $500 fine or concrete over your lawn so you can park there.
Yo, like listen to the complaints that he's like. This is a response to. He says, rarely, this is Ron Hugg, again, the councilman who presented this. He says, rarely does a day go by that somebody doesn't call me and say, hey, my neighbor's parking in his yard, parking a trailer, parking a car. Like, why are people's neighbors so worried about what they're doing on their property? So much so that they're calling and complaining, and so much so that an ordinance has been passed. The biggest issue, of course, is the elevated amount. If this is passed, well, of course, November 25th is the day that there will be public hearing for this ordinance. For those of you who have something to say, make sure you say it to City Council's face, November 25th. But the interesting part is just the increased interaction with Omaha police with this, which we all know increased interaction with police isn't the best thing. Again, Ron Hugg says this will allow the Omaha Police Department to actually do the enforcement because there will be this mechanism in place where they can be cited. So it gives us another level of enforcement opportunity, which, to your point, Paul, was the reason this was shut down in the first place by Mayor Stauther because of enforcement. How will this be enforced?
Just patrolling up and down the streets, stopping to people's house that have cars out in front of on their lawn somewhere, and just handing out tickets. Exactly. And why do we need more enforcement? I'm just, like I said, man. Sorry, I know I'm supposed to be over here being a minister of information and be articulate in describing what's happening here, but yeah.
Hey,
Anthony
Rogers, nonsense.
Man, for real. Anthony Rogers Wright says, go downtown and into Blackstone and tell me again on how parking on the grass is the biggest traffic issue in Omaha right now. City Council has the priorities of a teenager in puberty. Mark Manor says, this guy is getting paid from somebody or getting a favor from somebody for this. No one is complaining every day. This will never pass. If it comes down to the mayor, I doubt it will either. The mayor comes from North Omaha. He probably got family members that got trucks on their grass right now. Sean McCarthy says not every neighborhood complaint deserves a legislative response. I'm hoping that person who called in and complained is upset about food insecurity. Come on with it,
man. And I mean, furthermore, can we get the bed bugs out of here? Like,
we got a few more things to worry about.
Man.
Kimmer says he cares nothing about disproportionality, which also tells you which communities he ain't in communication with in South Omaha. Yeah, this is District 4. Ron Hugg is South Omaha. So how you in South Omaha not taking care of South Omaha people? And how many neighbors are actually calling complaining about what somebody's doing on their yard, on their own yards? Black Dynamite says, why would you care what people do at their house and on their property? As long as you keep it over there, I could care less. Well, this is how we operate, bro. But we ain't trying to be everybody's daddy all the time for what they do with their life. That's only a certain community of people. Anthony Rogers Wright said, Hug gets big money from the concrete industry. Like I said, we supposed to pave over your lawn? We're going to get a check from all the concrete jobs that need to happen?
Yeah. November 25th, y'all. November 25th.
There you go. A couple more before we go. Black Dynamite says, both houses to my left and right have cars in the yard at this very moment. Kimmer says, Grandma Harris will tell you. Brother Pena said, Latino people. I mean, where else is there going to be multiple cars on the property, bro? Like, that's only North and South Omaha.
Which does kind of make me feel like, is there an ICE element to this?
Get us started on that at 7:49 in the morning. Go ahead.
We gonna. I'm laying it out. I got several stories to get to the point. As far as it's worth considering anytime you see a move, especially here in Nebraska. Like,
Yep.
this the red Nebraska Republicans, they going for it. They're going for it.
Let's get to it. Let's stop beating around the bush about it. 750 right now in Omaha, Nebraska. Appreciate you guys joining us again. This is Senator Cypher. We're anticipating the senators coming on. I haven't heard anything from them. Hope everything's cool. But we got some things we definitely need to be checking in with them on. But in the meantime, of course, it looks like we have plenty to go through with you. We appreciate you guys' comments for sure. Sue Kessler Hagen says, and many are rental houses, so they can't pave over the lawn. I mean, pave over the lawn anyway. Like, I'm going to. Anthony Rogers Wright says, not to mention, even if this stupid bill passes, it would get sued for violating the 5th and 14th Amendments of the Constitution, illegal taking of private property, and the Equal Protection Clause. Lots to it. I don't think it's going to pass either. I just don't like it. I'm just sick of seeing people chiming up on how people live all the time and trying to fine them and trying to collect more money. State's going broke, so I guess they're just going to find any way to make poor people more poor. How many how many people are going to get fined in your district, bro? Like, that's what's killing me. Anyway, Juan Lewis says, not enough parking, just like not enough housing, spaces and places. Appreciate you saying that. We will absolutely take this into consideration, keep our eye on it, and figure it out. Shout out Cameron. I appreciate you reminding us about the area and what's going on there. And it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate that it really will only affect. This is South Omaha that he's doing this in, but still, this is what you want to spend your energy on. Are you in the news for that? Are you in the news for helping people eat right now?
No, it seems like the plan is to bank off of fines and imprisonment and paternalism.
Our special guests waiting in the wings. We'll see what they have to say when we get back from the break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, buddy to God. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beeee, buddy to God, and Senator Ashlei Spivey in the house. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm clear.
Good. My internet keeps saying, wait, it's unresponsive, so.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Make
We're
sure
going to manifest that it works.
Okay, sounds good. Are you on a laptop or your phone?
A lap.
Oh, okay, so make sure you have all your windows closed on the laptop. That'll help your internet. Keep this one open. But I'm saying, like, if you have any extra windows.
Yeah, do you know how many windows I have up? I have like 60.
This is the reason why your internet is choppy.
Oh my gosh.
You're one of those.
Okay.
Huh?
If it messes up, then I'll close all the other windows. I have a little bit of anxiety that you're asking me to close my tabs.
You know you can go into your history and just restore the window. You can.
Are you sure?
Listen. We don't get into the tech right now because this is all in the instructions in your calendar invite. So.
Oh my gosh.
This is the reason why we have some choppy internet going on. Is only because your computer is trying to process a bunch of windows. But anyway.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't want to go down the tech rabbit hole because I'll talk about this the rest of the day because this is what I do.
Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. But we're here. We're fine. It's all fine.
Yes.
Thank you for joining.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. And you're so far so good. I like that artwork you got back there. That's the first time I'm seeing that.
I used to have a plant here that I also had, and but I took it to my office at IBBG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're showing off the art. I like it.
This
Very
art is actually from Target when people still shopped at Target, and
really.
they started doing their Black artists. Like they had an influx of like Black artists and people that would sell, and so I got those pieces during Black History Month, maybe 4 years ago, like kind of right in the thick of the pandemic.
Yeah. Okay. That's what's up. Are you still boycotting Target?
Yeah, I mean, so I go and get things. To be honest,
Oh
like.
no. So no, you're not boycotting. No, I'm just.
I am, but like, if so when my youngest was sick, I needed to go to the store, and Target is the closest. So like, there's not we're in a capitalist market. There's nowhere I can go that aligns to what we are saying we need. So like, I'll go get like his medicine or something like that, but I don't spend the money that I spent, and I still will support Tabitha Brown. So if
Got
she
you.
has a new drop, because she is kind of, beholden to her contracts and things, like I still want
Right.
her line to do
Mhm.
well there. But I mean, at this point, I'm gonna have to like make and grow cotton and silk in order to make my own clothes. Like everywhere we're in a capitalist market. So
Yeah.
So true.
um,
Anthony
No,
Rogers just saying in the chat, it's the capitalism and abundance for the rich at the expense of artificial scarcity of the poor and working class.
man.
Uh, we are
I
in this
mean,
capitalist market, and we got to think about it.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that was
I mean,
actually my thread for the day. That's where this conversation is going. As far as we're about a week away from this called blackout. Again, it's a national blackout supposed to be starting from November 25th, going through December 2nd. It's the people's response to some of the madness that we've been seeing from the administration. Um,
Oh, buddy, stuck now. Close them windows up, buddy. Close them
it
windows.
ain't me. It ain't me.
He's looking at one. That's why. Yeah, he's back. You back. You back. He can't open them. I'm trying to tell
I
you.
gave you the bad mojo, buddy. I'm so sorry.
No, don't blame it on the
Because we
mode.
were going smooth. I'm not looking at an article. I'm looking at y'all. I'm looking at me freeze up. This.
Craziness. I'm glad you mentioned Tabitha. She did report that she took a hit when the boycott happened. Boycotts be working. There's a boycott coming up. Before we jump into the stuff we want to talk to you about, how you feeling about this boycott? This boycott that's supposed to be starting November, what is it, 24th, and lasting till December 2nd? Is that what it is,
Yeah,
buddy?
I think boycotts like that are
25th.
impactful. And I think for me, when you think about the ecosystem, the idea would, in my mind, be that we're boycotting some of these institutions, and then what are we radically reimagining and replacing it with? Is from community. And I haven't seen as much of the latter piece of like, okay, how are we standing up someone that can rival Target or a Walmart, or where do we shop for our groceries? Like.
Right.
So I think we have to, yes, boycott, and then how do we create a supply chain that has our businesses, that value aligned businesses, that can replace what people are navigating? Because a lot of folks, especially working people, depending on where they live or their proximity to resources, they may have to go to a Family Dollar for their grocery store. And so by boycotting that, puts their family in jeopardy, right? Because there's not a place in close proximity where they can go to that's on their route from work, or that they can take the bus, or So I think we just have to think through all of those things, and give people grace.
Yeah, I feel that. I always think about the bus boycotts and the fact that they didn't just stop riding the bus back in those days. They've set up a whole ecosystem to still get people to work, to share, to ride share, to do everything that needed to happen. Walked, it's self-sacrifice. There's a lot that they did, but that's also part of the story too. It's not just about boycotting, but it's about what you're going to do in place of the
Mhm.
boycott, how to build
Yeah.
that out.
I mean, that's abolition 101. And Dr. Angela Davis talks about that. It's easy to dismantle a system, but how do you radically reimagine something in its place that is not as harmful, that is truly meeting the needs of community from community? Like, so that's where our work sits, is in that radical reimagination.
Totally. Well, again, we appreciate you coming. We know that I Be Black Girl has some big events that just passed, and you want to tell us a little bit about that before we dig in?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I am still like, so how my mind works, I'm like, oh, this didn't go well. I wanted this, but all of the feedback has been super positive. So we had our annual event called the Kiki, and it's actually the origin of IBBG and how we started. We had a networking event at OSBN, which is no longer there, with over 100 Black women on the corner of 24th and Lake with the DJ. Eric Ejike was our DJ. We had vendors there. We had a brunch. And we just like gathered and fellowshipped and laughed and was in company. And so we said, we want that to be a staple event where one, we can raise money because we need money for our programming, but really just create a space that is intentional for our community. And so we had Tatiana Ali as our guest, and she was just so brilliant and like accessible and just, we just had the best time with her, and folks was line dancing, shopping. We had on our quilted prints. It was Afro Bohemian, so a mix of like Afrofuturism meets Bohemian fair. It was just like, it was so great.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I'm so happy about how the growth that you guys just can continue to get bigger and bigger, and
y'all got to come next year. So I know we center Black women, femmes, and girls, but everyone is invited. So we had folks that are co-conspirators and allies with us. We had Black men. We just had everybody, and they got to experience what it's like to have a Kiki.
That's what's up. Well, we appreciate you. You guys, your organization reached out to us to cover a lot of it and to be pressed there. So we didn't have the resources this time around, but we're working on that for next year. So we will definitely be there covering the event and all that if you guys invite us again, for sure.
Absolutely. Y'all know y'all got front row.
Hey, appreciate that. Buddy, are you still stuck over there? How you doing? Where you at?
Yeah, I don't even know. And
we hear you.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah. I don't want to like jump into the conversation and I'm responding to something from 10 minutes ago. So,
No, you look like you're on point right now.
All right. Well, yeah, that kind of threw me off. But yeah, I guess where's your mind at aside from the Kiki? Where are we as far as the legislative sessions go? Just what's on your radar?
Yeah, so the countdown has begun. We go back January 7th. And so I'm like thinking about the budget deficit and getting all my language together. So this is a short session. So for folks that are unfamiliar with the session, it goes in 2-year cycles. A long session, which is like 90 business days, which ends up being about 6 months, and then a short session follows, or depending when you come in, but it ends up being about 4 months, so 60 business days. And we're going into the short session, the last of our 2-year cycle. So that means it's going to be really quick. We are facing nearly a $500 million deficit. Some of that is attributed to the federal bill that Trump passed that had a lot of cuts from our federal programs. So things like Medicaid, childcare, like school formulas, those things. The state has to pick up that tab. We're not seeing as much revenue come into the state, so our receipts is what they call them are less. And of course, we're still dealing with the issues of property tax. We have sweeping property tax relief versus targeted. And so I'm really thinking about, as a member of appropriations, which appropriates or says like, this is what we can spend at each level of government, like what are our choices and what need to be our priorities. We have a child care sunset that would take the federal Title 20 subsidy from 185% back to 130, which means working families would lose child care. And you have what's going in effect, a minimum wage at that $15. So it could really push people over. Hi, puppy. I want to say hi. So, I just, I have a lot of things that are top of mind for me, especially of like, working some of my bills around restrictive housing. It's just like it feels like busy season. Like I never left the ledge because you have to continue to do that work. So that's some of the things I'm focused on.
Remind me real quick about the restrictive housing bill that you got going.
Yeah, so I introduced it last session, and it would change the hours. So restricted housing is based on hours out of sale. And right now, our state penitentiaries have wings or areas for restrictive housing, but restrictive housing you could have inside of your cell. And so right now, it is based on the weeks is how they calculate out of cell time. So that means for days you might not get out of your cell. And so I'm changing it from a week to days of out of cell time. I'm looking at some amendments that would have anyone that has a mental health diagnosis or what they call SMI to not be on restrictive housing. They have a tiered system that says, like, if you are on medication, like if I have bipolar disorder, for example, and I'm on medication and I'm functioning and stable, then I can go into restrictive housing when we actually know that still derails that person's mental health status, no matter if they are on medication and were stable at the time they were put in. So looking at some changes to that also was in the IG report that came out around behavioral health inside of our prison system. And then making sure that like your attorney time and shower time doesn't count, how long someone can be on restrictive housing. There are people that have been on restrictive housing for years and their programming is not working from the prison standpoint to get them out of restrictive housing, which is really concerning. Right now, a lot of programming is based on tablets in restrictive housing, not person and human contact. And so, ideally we say corrections is supposed to be corrective. It's supposed to be rehabilitative. And so if that is the stance of Director Jeffries, who oversees our prison system, then we have to put in place programming and practices and policies that actually align to that. Right. And so my bill is in partnership with Jason, who works at ACLU. He actually is system impacted and spent time in restrictive housing, or what was considered solitary confinement at the time.
The whole.
And so, the whole. And so my goal is to work with people that have been impacted that can say, this is what it needs to look like. So he is the main community advocate and policy advocate that I'm working with. And I had an interim hearing to get updates to my bill. And then I will be bringing an amendment that I asked judiciary to exec on to try to move it forward to get it passed this session.
My mind's definitely still in this kind of follow the money track. And so when I'm hearing this, my mind actually kind of goes to, I wonder what the financial side of it is. I think Flatwater just reported on some changes to the phone, like how much inmates are paying for phone use. And I just wonder how much the state is making from its prison system.
Before we get into that answer, I want to bring in Senator Mckinney, who's waiting in the wings, and I'd love to hear his opinion on this as well. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Good morning.
Please.
So I actually got some data pulled just around commissary and the prices of commissary and the mock-up. And I had an interim study that was not scheduled by judiciary, but I still have research around it, around our jobs within our prison system. So we have an actual entity that contracts out with outside public businesses that then the people inside are actually doing. So for example, people inside make furniture. And the state gets that furniture. Businesses get that furniture. There's a laundry service. Hi, baby.
Schools get that.
And so, and so we need, my goal is that people inside are making a living wage. Like your justice or consequence for whatever you were charged with going inside does not mean that you don't make money, right? Like that's not mutually exclusive. It's you losing all of your rights. And we've outlawed slavery in our Constitution. And so like people should be able to make a living wage. They should be able to get a skill and a certificate for that. And then they can pay into the tax base. They can pay their child support, whatever else they have going on, and have that money for when they come back home. And so I am looking into that. Senator Mckinney and my predecessor, Senator Wayne, have done a lot of work around that too. But I mean, this is the nature of this system. And so it's like trying to find legislation that can chip away at it while we, again, going back to that radical reimagine something different.
Right.
You
Right.
said it. It's built into the system,
Right.
and that's a heavy lift. Senator McKinney, I know that you've been doing a lot of work on this subject. What say you on this?
I think it's important to improve how restrictive housing is utilized. They've been skirting the rules since I've been in the legislature, moving people to different tiers and different units, but still keeping them in restrictive housing. And it's been a mess. And I've received numerous complaints all this year and since I've been in the legislature about restrictive housing, how it's used, how people don't know how they could get out of restrictive housing, the lack of a process. It's just been horrible. And to be honest, at Senator Spivey's hearing in judiciary, the director was dismissive of what's going on. I thought he didn't know anything he was talking about, and he just came unprepared and just really just wanted to come just to say, whatever, we doing this way, and I don't care what y'all say, is what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was very dismissive, and Senator McKinney specifically. So folks that are considered violent offenders are supposed to have a specific set of programming that they took away. They said it's not effective, it's not working. And so Senator McKinney's question was like, okay, if I'm on restrictive housing, if I'm considered a violent offender, how do I get off? Like, if you took away programming, what are you replacing it with? And he was like, it didn't work. So I don't understand the question. It's like, well, we understand what you are saying, that you felt like it didn't work, but there has to be something else for people that are navigating what you consider is violence, and that they have the support. And I mean, so it was the recording is available for people if they go online. But it was very tough because we were trying to make sure that people inside have what they need, and it felt like that wasn't the case.
Wow, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I've definitely seen a few times when that was the attitude. That was definitely the attitude I've seen before as well. So, very, very. We've been talking a lot about the work that you've been doing, Senator McKinney and others, and Ashlei Spivey. We have to say Senator Spivey as well on the forefront of trying to make some things better. We had a story that we had talked about earlier about this inmates running a half marathon and some of the things that they're trying to do inside in order to rehabilitate and be okay. And so we have to keep on looking at some of this stuff. We're just glad that you're in there on this fight. And shout out to Jason Whitmore too of ACLU. If you guys have missed any of the conversation that we had with him, which was awesome as well, definitely go check it out on YouTube. We had a great conversation. Katie L in the chat says, thank you for the updates, especially on the sunset of the Title 20. Working families are already in a pinch in so many other ways. So I appreciate some of that stuff. We'll get into some of that as well. Vaughn Chapman says, is PTSD being addressed in Nebraska prisons or in the Juvenile Justice Center? I know that we had been talking about PTSD last year, I think, with Senator Wayne at one point. Any progress on any of those topics?
Yeah, I can start, Senator McKinney, if you want to jump in. So Senator Wayne and McKinney got some dollars through the legislature to do a study around the trauma of North Omaha and how that's impacting juveniles. And that report was just released, and it showed that our kids are navigating spaces of other and similar geographies that are in a constant state of warfare or conflict. That's the level of trauma that they are seeing. And so Senator McKinney and I have been spending a lot of time within the juvenile justice systems locally. So we've been in DCYC, we've been going to the assessment center. I've done a ride along with juvenile probation. I have one with adult coming up. I sit on 2 commissions for the state. And we have been working on legislation that will be introduced this session, even though it's a short session, around really kind of addressing that trauma in the child welfare to juvenile criminal side pipeline, because we are seeing a lot of kids that have navigated trauma and are supposed to be in a system, right, that we know, right? And so they're in this child welfare system, they're removed from their home where things are going on, and then you see that direct line to now that they have some sort of law violation. Now they're either on detention, probation, or prison, and then they're going to the baby prison, and then they go to the adult prison, and like you can see the pipeline, you can see the data and trends. And so we actually had like a working meeting maybe 3 weeks ago. We were whiteboarding out all of the bills and where we've seen on our visits and like what can we bring. And so I think and again, I don't want to misspeak for you, Senator McKinney, like we've been actively working on those things this session together outside of what he's done previously.
What say you, Senator McKinney?
As far as like PTSD being addressed in prisons and juvenile justice centers, I mean, I know there's some people that try to do some good work. I still think it's difficult to address PTSD wholly in places like that. You know, people are put in some bad situations, especially in our state penitentiaries. I don't know how you properly address PTSD when you're living through trauma. Being in prison is traumatizing, you know, even for the juveniles. They're pulled away from their families, and no matter why they're there, you know, that's still traumatizing in a sense. So, I mean, I think people try to do work and people try to help with it, but I don't know how effective it can be when you're in a prison. Just honestly speaking.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, just the simple fact that it needs to be pointed out that no real mental health aid until after you have a case. I mean, especially for youth, which is a problem, which is a big problem. So thank you for the answer.
Add to that?
Thank you for those questions. Go ahead.
So we know that public housing is an issue here and the conditions that people are living in. And I went and did a tour in the towers that are in my district. I have 3. And the housing and conditions also of public housing, it mirrors that of people that are incarcerated. Like it felt like I was back inside of Tecumseh.
Wow.
In the Florence Towers, it's brick. They have faux walls. There's no central air. Like it's dark, it's dingy. And I know that they're going to say that they have a plan to update over a period of years, but like people are actively living in these conditions too that are not incarcerated, that are in our community. And so I think when you talk about behavioral health and like this kind of basic needs, are people getting what they need? It's why there's so much, I think, intentional criticism and feedback over the housing authority and what they are doing for some of our most vulnerable populations and the environments that they create.
Yeah, I mean, public schools too. And I mean, it's just when you start to unravel it, like the connection, you know what I mean? Like even down to the fact that it's quite possible that the furniture that's in public housing in schools is probably made by prisoners.
Oh, it is. It's a part of the contract.
So
it's crazy, bro.
Are we not seeing the similarities? Are we not seeing you go from pre-prison to prison light to prison?
Listen. Yeah, I feel like some days, like I have to, like I'll be texting Senator McKinney, and I'm like just spiraling, and I'm like laughing when I'm doing it to keep from crying and like losing my mind. I'm like, this is like cannot be our reality, and it is, and it is.
And going back to what you're talking about the budget appropriation, and just where is this nation going? Where are we going? And the greed is just rearing its ugly head. That's just like really, really rearing its ugly head.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, you know, for me on appropriations and why I want to be on appropriations, one, like money is power. That is the society that we live in, and so where we put and appropriate our dollars makes a difference, right? For communities to self-actualize or to get what they need. And so it's why I wanted to be on appropriations and still have a passion for every other part of the work. And one of the things that I have continued to fight that some of my colleagues, like Senator McKinney, former Senator Wayne, have fought was like around this new prison. So we have appropriated this money for a new prison that is going to be overcrowded. They are not going to decommission NSP. So then that is going to be turned into another ICE facility, or people will still be there. while folks don't have adequate housing, why we don't have strong public education, why people don't have childcare, why they are underemployed and work 2 and 3 jobs. So if we would have put that money and went upstream to all of those things that I've named, we wouldn't see people entering the carceral system in the same way, because we've addressed why people are actually going to prison versus being reactionary. And it's hard to get my colleagues to understand on appropriations, like, this is not a good use of taxpayer dollars. Like, so.
Well, there's I've seen stuff out here though about private prisons actually suing states because of the fact that they are not providing enough prisoners for them. So there's the other side of that too. There's this side of like maybe some people around here don't have the goal of not getting people as incarcerated as they could be out here. They're trying to fill these places up as well, and we definitely see that.
Okay, so this is the point, because history has already told us that slavery is not lucrative. That was the reason for the Civil War. The nation was going broke trying to push this bigotry and slavery. Slavery is not lucrative. It's just not.
It made it seem like.
Well, no, because Nebraska's going broke. Nebraska, the state with the most overcrowded prison system, is going broke. So again, slavery is not lucrative.
Fees are not, right. So you think about the businesses that are contracting to utilize incarceration labor, right? Like, people that are there, they are not going broke. They save money by having, someone working and doing their laundry at this hospital in middle of Nebraska that gets paid $2 a day. Or and we have like beautiful furniture, like such craftsmanship being built that goes into our state capital. Like, what do we pay for that? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, just like with the capitalist market, there's the different tiers of who makes money and who it's on the backs of. And I think our carceral system is doing the same thing. It's not as rehabilitative as it needs to be. We see that. We see what it does to people. Like, you hear the terms being institutionalized, and everybody know what that means for that person and for our community and the families and people that are impacted. And so, these are big societal issues that you can't solve in one session. You can't solve with one piece of legislation. And I think senators and our colleagues have to dig in deeper and actually care about these things and spend time working. Like, it's not a part-time job. Like, you work on it constantly because of what the impacts are, especially to communities like ours.
Yeah.
And I think it's not beneficial for the state, but it's beneficial for the vendors, the people that get those contracts. Like, I have a whole web in my head of how, like, I'm rethinking, we talk about like the school to prison pipeline, but I don't think we talk about the nonprofit to prison pipeline. Like, these people who are getting all this money that are supposed to be helping, but for whatever reason, the results aren't there. Our kids are still scoring the lowest educationally. Our kids are still the most represented in the juvenile justice system, the child welfare system. How is all this getting, given, but results aren't there? And I just don't think people are really incentivized to get results.
I mean, that is the nonprofit industrial complex. That's the whole point of it. Yeah, that's the whole point of it. I do want to get into this article by Nebraska Public Media, which is quite interesting, especially when we talk about how the state makes its money. Again, millions of dollars from this whole McCook contract that they just signed. And now Nebraska Public Media is reporting that Nebraska becomes the first digital asset bank in the U.S. Again, doing something with the money, not quite sure what. But this is apparently from a bill that was passed by the Nebraska legislature in 2021. Comes from the Nebraska Department of Banking and Finance. Are y'all familiar with this? Have you heard about this? And do you have any insight on what this is about?
I remember the bill. I think it was Mike Flood that passed it.
Yep.
And it was all first initially, I think it was around cryptocurrency and all that, when all that was popping off at that time. what do I think about it? I'm always skeptical, especially when a bill passed 4 years ago and they just now doing something. There has to be a bigger play behind it. I'm assuming. I'm not sure what yet, but you know, look at the people at the table. You can see there's some bigger play behind it. And I think it's bigger in a sense also with what the president is doing, stuff that's going on in Venezuela. I think it's all connected. So yeah.
Yeah, this is something that we're gonna continue to dig a little bit into too. Senator Spivey, you familiar with what's going on here with that?
So I wasn't in the ledge when the bill passed, and so, but I feel similar to Senator McKinney of like, who's at the table, why now, what are the implications, and I think they thrive off of chaos, like doing things in all these different places where you can't keep up, you can't track, like, and so I'm watching it too, and I found out about it with the notice from the governor's office with the ceremonial signing. So yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out like what does that actually mean, and the impacts like to my work and what I care about.
Yeah, well, I will say that if Nebraska is having digital banks, then you need data centers to manage that data. And there's just been a lawsuit for OPPD to keep burning coal. So I don't think it's too far of a stretch or too hard to see how pockets might be getting lined with this. And there's already talk from the Trump administration, for them to go digital. So, you see Pillin all along he's on the Trump train. And we'll talk about Union Pacific here in a second because Pillin ain't the only one.
Feel that. We got a few minutes left with you guys. I just want to make sure that everybody understands this. 8:26 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're here with the Senators Cypher. That's Senator Ashlei Spivey and Senator Terrell McKinney. We appreciate everybody's comments and appreciate you guys posting some pictures from the 100 Black Men situation. You guys looking fresh. Doing the good stuff, man. 20th Annual Men of Honor Gala. Appreciate you guys.
And my son spoke. So I'm like super excited. So he's a mentee in the program, and he got to give Anthony Ashby, who was one of the Man of Honor, the Man of the Year, like honoree or whatever. He got to introduce and give his award.
I love it. Well, I appreciate that. I definitely want to hear from you guys about how that night went, but we got only a few minutes left and we kind of need to jump into this other subject real quick. If you have a few more minutes with us, Anthony Rogers right in the chat earlier said Nebraska is one of 39 states that does not disclose the incentives and handouts offered to data center corporations, wondering how the senator feels about that and if she thinks it's cool that OPPD signs these NDAs. Should a public consumer-owned entity be signing NDAs with private corporations?
I just told you.
And moreover, should a state that is $500 million in debt be getting into the business of AI, given the size of the AI bubble that is anticipated to burst in the next 3 to 5 years? Complicated question, but you know where he's going with that. What say you?
I don't agree with it. I think, if it's public power, things should be public. I don't think they should be, not disclosing, those agreements. I'm against it 1,000%. And it's something we're going to probably have to look at this next session to address because of what's going on with the North Omaha station and them potentially delaying it and all the stuff behind that. And I think it goes back to what they're doing behind the scenes that they're not telling us.
Yeah. Lawsuits and everything else that's going on right now about it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, that was it. I'm just thinking about all the things that surrounding all this. The lawsuit that they're I think it's ACLU is putting against. No, yes. Who's suing OPPD right now?
The AG currently.
Say again.
The Attorney General.
Right. Over, we started talking about them in the beginning about kicking the can down the road. Now they're acting like they're not going to do it at all. They're not going to change over the coal to the gas at all because of these data centers. So, and I think this is one of these instances where we kind of are talking to the people. So the people are chiming up on some stuff and giving us information that we haven't even come across yet. Namely, I've been pulled aside a couple times, and somebody's pulled up on their phone. Look at these salaries that these guys are getting over here at this place right here. How is it that is a publicly owned entity, and we have to take on the bigger cost of energy because of these data centers? These cats are getting all this all this money for salaries. Like, what? How do we stop this train? What do you guys are seeing here that can be done?
And we had some of this conversation with them. So we have met with them a couple of times, Senator Mckinney as well, either like as groups of elected officials, one-offs. The plan is in my district. And Anthony's question was long and complex and had numerous questions. And so I'll try to touch on some of the questions being asked. But I think the larger conversation, and Senator Jacobson brought a bill last session to try to address, like, what is our point of view as a state on data centers in general, right? Like we see in other spaces and geographies, the toll that it has on resources, and it's not an economic development opportunity in the same way. We're like, oh, this is providing jobs. And so there's a trade-off for how it uses our water or electricity, or, whatever you want to say, of like justification of like attraction of businesses that usually is had. And so there was some legislation to try to limit some of like the power implications and resource implications, especially on the water side, because water is also a valuable utility that we don't talk as much about as the same as power. And so I think we are going to have to wrestle with and bring legislation around how we as a state approve or not data centers. Right now, there is statutes that say data centers or other entities cannot be treated differently than like actual individual consumers. And so you can't charge differently in the same way. And so I think that's legislation at the state level that can be reviewed around the different types of your entity. What does your usage look like? What are you taking? And then how do we charge appropriately for that and manage that? And I think, outside of data centers, in general, you think about economic development and what does it take for the cost of utilities. I've had the conversation around the investment of OPPD specifically in that. So like, how are they modernizing North Omaha, which is one of the oldest parts of the city, for electricity, and like what has been their investment in that and their strategy? They say that they are not responsible for a lot of the air quality and asthma in the community. Okay, so if you feel like you're not responsible, however, corporations and entities still have a responsibility to your community. And so I asked to see their investment through their corporate affairs around addressing air quality, housing, and other things, because you don't have to be responsible to care, and to hear that community is saying that this is an issue. And so I think, there is a lot to be said about the OPPD situation, and in general, just how businesses and corporations show up into communities, and what does it look like from a betterment standpoint, and what they should be responsible to, even if they're not mandated. And so I think this is, one example, but we need to go upstream and look at it overall, in my opinion.
Senator McKinney, you got some,
bro.
No, I got something to say, but go ahead, Senator McKinney. Go ahead.
Well, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's a lot. I think they're playing OPPD is playing in our face as a community.
Come on now.
They want us to believe that, they're gonna put out a report, right? And it's gonna say that their pollution in our community isn't as bad as people think. But it's a BS report for a lot of reasons, and specifically, it only covers the impact over like the past few years, maybe past 5 years, but it doesn't look at the historical impact of having coal burning in our community and how that has negatively affected our community. And I still think it's negatively affecting our community. They just think their pollution levels are okay, which is crazy. And it's just wild. Our rates are still going up. They're gonna still propose a rate hike in December. They're gonna go up again next year, and it has nothing to do with the coal plant. Like with or without the coal plant, our rates are going up.
Listen,
no matter what.
If it walks like a dog, if it barks like a dog, it's not a mongoose. We're dealing with greed. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, and
hold on.
Senator McKinney, do you want to talk about the question that you asked about the replacement of the other two plants? I think that's important for listeners to understand.
Yeah, and also the replacement plants for the North Omaha station, they are taking them off the table also because they're a part of the Southwest Power Pool, and now supposedly they need 36% of reserve energy, so they can't use the replacements for North Omaha supposedly anymore. Like it's wild.
It's not wild. Like,
no, it is wild because it's like
so to answer your now, I don't know if it was a question, but statement, Senator Spivey, as far as where does the state stand on data centers? Again, this is a state ran by a billionaire. We are dealing with greed. There's no question about it, because the studies are out there. The people have been vocal about the impact of the data centers. We know that what's going on at OPPD is connected to the data centers. We know it. In this article, going back to the whole cryptocurrency of it all, they said it. Nebraska Public Media is reporting it directly. Pillin and Jane Wu, who's an assistant professor of economics at UNO, who does research on cryptocurrencies, they're talking about this being the next wave, just like insurance, just like healthcare. Now, financial tech is possibly the next wave for Nebraska. According to Lou in this article, this could be a niche for Nebraska. Because companies like an environment that is predictable, that has a legal framework that they can rely on. So it will attract fine tech companies, all these talents to the state. And I think it's a great opportunity for Nebraska, and hopefully we can build a clustered industry. This is something that we are going to have to fight. This is something that's coming down the pipe. They're investing in it. It's happening.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is, to your point, buddy, like when you look at our economic trajectory and what we prioritize to like grow our economy, we don't have a strong Department of Economic Development. So the interim is now the director. And we have seen a lot of dismantling around economic development that is less extractive, that thinks about our markets and our industries differently. And so I think outside of like this being signed into law, like what our state does and the agencies that runs it and implements what we pass or what they have discretion over at the leisure of the governor, is also very concerning.
Yeah. Appreciate that. We'll definitely have to dive a little deeper here into this situation. We've been talking about this situation with OPPD for the last couple of weeks, so we were happy that you guys were able to come on and speak to that a little bit. I know that you guys have been meeting with them, and we've been seeing those articles out there about the meetings. So just trying to figure out where it comes from. I'm still feeling a little bit like we got to figure out what to do about this. Well, how we can well, first of all, to get more of a complete understanding about exactly what's going on, exactly what they're doing, and then to figure out how we need to be trying to move because of it, because this has been something that, like I said, we've been, the voice of the people is chiming up. People that weren't paying attention to this are absolutely paying attention to this, and it's because they're going in there and looking at that bill, and that bill is more money. And just off the bat, why are my energy costs being raised? And I'm also appreciate you talking about MUD because of the water situation, which is a lot of what the people who are fighting data centers all around the country are talking about, how much our water supply is getting tapped by these data centers. And remember, sometimes you got to reiterate the fact that data centers are run by maybe 10 people. It's not like they're bringing a bunch of jobs to the data center. They're just using a bunch of resources, and we, the public, are having to pay for them resources. And one of the companies is a public company. So it's like it's super unfair, and something has to happen. Litigation. Von Chapman's favorite line. I appreciate that. So yes, I appreciate you guys' comments on it. Unfortunately, we can't dig too much deeper here on this particular episode. But obviously, we have to have you guys back and talk a little bit more about what's going on here. Especially, is there any meetings coming up or any other activities that you guys are involved in with them that's coming up that we need to be looking for or helping with?
Yeah, tomorrow night there's like in my other role, there's a community meeting at the Universal College of Healing Arts tomorrow at 6 p.m. To discuss what's going on with OPPD, the power plant, how people can get involved, and what's needed to go forward to try to push back against OPPD and try to make sure they do the right thing, because they're going in next week's meeting. This week meeting, they're gonna put something on the agenda to basically ask the board whether or not they should close the plant, and then in December they'll make the final decision on the plant transition. So I think it's very important. The community meeting is tomorrow at 6, and I share it with you, buddy, and Paul.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wanda Lewis in the chat, who's always giving us some public works data. She's saying the Florence water plant is right down the street from the Omaha public power plant. Those water beds are open. There's no coverage over them, and whatever is burning off down, there is landing right there in our water supply. So these are some other issues like we're not even looking at, but people who's been working in the city in this way, like Wanda Lewis, can let us know about some of the other issues there. So it's not just a monetary situation; it's a health situation. I can't believe the audacity of them putting out a report saying that their pollution has not affected North Omaha in the way that we have known. Every family member we got asthma in North Omaha. It's kind of incredible. So I want to get to the what we do about it. I got to look more into it myself, because I don't really know if this is a public company. What does that necessarily mean? There's some votes here? Are there some?
Yeah, the board is elected. So the board, and that has been my feedback, is we need to hear from the board. The board is elected, and Javier works at the leisure of the board. Javier is their CEO. And so, right, the board members, I'm setting up meetings with the board members. I've only had contact with two actually about this. And at our meetings, to me, they have been less vocal, which is concerning, because you are elected to represent and you run this public entity. And so I think, right, all the board members, they are elected. They represent a geography. So it's not just all North Omaha, but absolutely there are votes there.
Yeah, that's I'm leaning towards that. We got to talk about that. If that's the case, people got to get more active. It's reflecting on your bill. If you need more incentive than that your energy bills is going up. I don't know what else to tell you. Between the health situations and your bill rising, that's enough to get involved, if you ask me.
Yeah, and the other thing that I will say, like with me running like a C4 and a C3 that does some of this work, is that also like everyday folks that are not paid to be in the spaces or do not have the privilege, right, to be able to have the capacity for some of this, like people are tired. Like their livelihood is on attack daily, and social safety nets, right? And so also if you have the capacity to like lean into this, like I think we need to ask people to, and for folks that don't, we have to also carry the water for them, because some people are still just in survival and are like, what does that mean to write a letter to these elected people that I've never even heard of or seen their face in my, and so I also want to respect that nuance of activism and what does it look like for us to hold people accountable while people are still navigating, like maintaining their mental health, their kids, their job, and other things.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. And we appreciate you guys too. Any last words before you guys get out of here? Anything that you want to leave us with, or any things that we can do? Send us off into some action items.
So I said the community meeting tomorrow at 6. Also, OPPD's board meeting is this Thursday at 5 p.m. You could join that either virtual or in person, and you could give a public comment on they have open public comment always at the end of the agenda, but I'm almost certain something about the North Omaha station to be on the agenda too. So if you could come to the community meeting or join the board meeting, I think that'd be great to express how you feel, because they seem to think they're not negatively impacting us, and I think that's a huge problem.
They know they are. They know they are.
Absolutely.
They just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
What say you, Senator Spivey?
So I have my town hall for District 13 on December 3rd. It's 5:30 to 7 at Emmanuel Hospital in their conference center. So right behind the emergency room in their like standalone little conference center area. And dinner will be served. So the link is on my Ashlei for Nebraska website, as well as my social media to register.
Tap in, y'all.
Tap in.
I would love to see y'all.
We appreciate y'all. Sorry it's such a somber day today, but it is what it is, and I just appreciate you guys.
Can I add one thing?
Please.
As we end? So we didn't circle back to the 100 Black Men Gala. And I just want to say, like, that was a highlight. So Senator Mckinney, we sat together, and some of our other elected colleagues, like Senator John Kavanaugh, Precious McKesson was at our table. We were hosted by HBA with Davio Phillips, who is a great community advocate. And it was just like beautiful to see. We always see these narratives about our Black boys and our Black men. And this was a space of like seeing the interconnection of mentorship. And, it's like a little family reunion. You see people, like I was so excited to see my son speak. I had like moved my chair and I was like all up in the way taking pictures and, and I was his guest. Like this was his gala. So I was like, what do you want me to wear? And he got fitted for a tux. And I love that 100 Black men like fits all of their mentees for a tux, and they get this experience. They get to have, a formal meal and, be in these spaces that feels like, that they are uplifted and that this experience is for them, not like everyone else in the room. And the storytelling, it wasn't co-optive, it was so beautiful. And I am so proud of Chris McCroy, who is executive director, and just the work that he is doing and how he works with these young men and the adults that he brings in as mentors. And so I want to end on something that there's a lot of things going on and we need to be like, ooh. And also there's so much beauty and richness in our community that we also need to talk about. And so I would love to just end on how amazing 100 Black men and what they're doing. And I'm just in awe.
Thank you.
There it is.
Yeah, that's me and my little baby.
He decked out too.
His little suit, yes, just handsome as he wants to be, and just did such a great job. And he was super excited, to show pictures to his friends and to talk about it. And one of the speakers talked about this. It was a son and dad, a speaker duo, and he was like, I'm active in my son's life, and it takes a village. And I also think that's a narrative shift. We think that kids that are in this mentorship program don't have loving men or dads in their lives, and that's not true. Takes a village, and you need all types of people to pour in. And so Nas has his dad, and he has a bonus dad, and he has his mentor, and he needs all of these Black men to love on him. And so
I'm glad you left with that for sure. That's what's up. I'm in the same boat. I was close to my pops. I was close to my grandfather. I was close to my great grandfather. I was close to my mom's dad, my other grandfather. But I also had them uncles that showed me how to do the music, and it takes a village. It's just not, it's not that narrative of these Black boys don't have no father, and that's the only problem. Nah, it's way more than that. The thing I like about 100 Black Men too is the fact that they are oriented in providing a community of entrepreneurs and people who can assist them with their careers as well. It's not just mentorship to just be hanging out and throwing the football. It's setting them in places where they can have some network and move in their career, which I think is super important as well.
They do tutoring for kids that need it. They're thinking of all aspects of what do our boys need to be successful. And so it was so beautiful to see. And they have a group picture at the end. All these young Black boys just decked out in their suits and smiling. It was with natural hair, afros, locks, kinks, I was like, yes, I love it. So
speaking of spaces and places, I was in Botillion, so to see, that have that formal experience, that getting a suit tailored to your body, it sticks with you. It's pinkies up.
Speaking of suits, Senator Mckinney, you seem to be getting way more comfortable in your black suit when I see you. You be looking good. You out there styling profiling. What's happening?
I don't know, man. Don't count on it for the session though.
No, my favorite. I told my brother. I said my favorite. He came to an event and it was a suit and like a sweater underneath. So it was like this casual suit situation. I was like, okay, brother.
That's what's
I
up.
see you.
But he gonna go full Ernie Chambers at the session though. Don't expect it for that. I appreciate y'all. Always a pleasure to talk to you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Have a good day.
Peace. You too.
Peace. All right, there you go. It's always a pleasure to talk to them and catch up. And yeah, I'm glad she ended with that too. I was kind of definitely feeling like that. Definitely heavy subjects we talking about today. Appreciate all your comments and your questions. I didn't get to everything, of course, but thank you very much. Appreciate that. And also the extra information. Shout out to Wanda Lewis. Is always hipping me to something that I wasn't even nowhere near thinking of when it comes to some of these subjects as well. You always are bringing some very, very solid info and expansive info on all these subjects, especially when it comes to how the city runs, what's going on in the infrastructure. Impacts greatly. It's a big part of what it is that they're doing in our neighborhoods in North and South Omaha. We cannot go past the idea that the infrastructure is being affected one way in certain direction when it comes to our neighborhoods, because that's just part of the whole plan. It goes down like that. We'll take a quick break and come back and get back to a couple of your comments before we wrap up the stories of the day. It's 8:50 right now if you believe in the concept of time. We'll be right back. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddy to God. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Yeah, my name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. We appreciate everybody who's a chat chimer, ghost listener, and monitoring spirit on the show today. It's definitely felt your presence. Really appreciate everybody who's doing that. Want to give a special shout out to Amy Ryan, First Sky fam. She just got nominated for the John Heaston Award for Cultural Stewardship.
Hey,
and she's giving a special thanks and a shout out to OEAAs. I don't know if you guys saw the other day, but we ran down all of the nominees on Friends of First Sky Omaha. We posted it there. Ran down all the nominees for OEAAs, and don't forget, get your tickets for OEAAs. It's going down February 15th, 2026 at the Admiral 2234 South 13th Street. Used to be called Sokol Auditorium.
Mama call him Sokol.
Mama call him Sokol. I'm calling him Sokol. The Admirals is going down 20th annual Omaha Entertainment and Arts Awards. It's going to be a special show. And again, shout out to Amy Ryan and all of the nominees, everybody who got nominated for an award. And this is fitting, man. She's done so much as far as cultural stewardship is concerned. Like Amy Ryan says, Benson is the North Side. So shout out to her for all the work that she's done. Pizza Shop Collective, where a whole lot of cats got their start on stage. And then, of course, Benson Theater as well. And now First Sky fan, man, working with First Sky on some things. So shout out to her, and really appreciate everybody that felt that she deserved to be recognized. It's always a good thing. This is award season, and sometimes you can get a little skeptical, a little cynical at times when it comes to these types of things. But the importance of being able to give people their flowers while they're here, the what it does for the community, what it does for invigorating them to continue in the fights. All those things, there's so many benefits to it. It's incredible. And really, it just boils down to appreciation. We can just appreciate each other and remind each other where we fit together in this community. Beautiful things come from that.
Positive reinforcement goes a long way.
Goes a long way. A few minutes left in the broadcast today, buddy. Anything in the chat that you're looking at this chiming out to you, or do you have plans on finishing out some of the things that we started talking about a little earlier? Where you at?
I did want to tie up the thread, and I mean it's kind of both. You know what I mean? Brother Anthony Rogers, right, going off in the chat. But kind of going along the lines of, you know, what I was thinking, just as far as just the corporate greed, man. The corporate greed that's happening in this country is pretty evident. It's pretty obvious. You know, we talked about, you know, pilling and man, the nitrates that he's a part of, but also this story, shout out to Flatwater, reporting on Union Pacific and the moves that they're making, again, donating millions of dollars to Trump's ballroom, and quite interestingly, at the same time as Associated Press is reporting, proposing an $85 billion merger with Norfolk Southern, which of course is going to need their approval of the Trump administration. So a lot of money moving hands, a lot of power being given, a lot of passes and favors being handed out. And the little man, us, the working class people, kind of getting the short end of the deal at the end of it. And of course, we're, as I've been mentioning throughout the show, a week away from this government or this financial economic blackout. That's kind of the working class's response to it. But are we ready? Is this, you know, putting it out to the people? Is this something that you are planning on engaging in? And if so, are you prepared? Senator Ashlei Spivey kind of, you know, touched on it earlier. It's not enough to tear down a system, but what systems are we building up? What resources, what initiatives, what's the word, networks, you know, are we building to make sure that we're not only taking food out of or taking money out of the pockets of, you know, corporate greed, but putting it where it needs to be, diverting those dollars where it needs to be, because you can't just, you know, energy can't be destroyed. It can only be transferred.
Whoa. There you go. Appreciate that. Yeah, man.
That's you know, kind of the last thread.
So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day.
Blackoutthesystem.com is the organization that's kind of pushing this blackout. Again, it's November 25th through December 2nd. They do have some information, some you know, resources as far as mutual aid and how to actually, you know, go through this, some initiatives. So check out the website, blackoutthesystem.com, and let us know, are you actually planning on holding on to your dollars, flexing, you know, one of the only things that they seem to actually care about, which is their bottom line, and doing all that they can to bleed us dry of every cent that we have. Are you ready to combat that?
That's a good question. I absolutely would like to know who's planning on engaging in this. And some people have. It's been out there that the blackout is only happening for 24 hours. As a matter of fact, there's a bunch of conflicting stories out there, which is the reason why Buddy's showing you this particular website here where this stuff originated, because even some of the majors are saying it's a 24-hour blackout, but it's not a 24-hour blackout. It's several days. And we have to build up to that, because we know that if we're doing any kind of boycotting at all, it's really going to have to last longer than a day. We talked about that last time we talked about these boycotts. So there it is. Appreciate if you let us know on Friends of First Sky Omaha, or you can always hit us up at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Who's all involved, who's taking this on and is going to get serious about this boycott, and also what do we do in place of that? So that's another piece of that. Somebody in the chat said earlier, the boycotts is going to hurt a lot of businesses, but not if we are frequenting those businesses and have in mind in the first place what we're going to do about that. So let's think about where we're going to spend our dollars, and then let's also think about where we need to continue on helping where we need to help, because there's some people where they're going to spend their dollars is not the issue, because they don't have a whole bunch of dollars to spend, and they still need some assistance and some help here and there. So we'll keep on talking about that assistance and help. As a matter of fact, here's a free food pantry that's open, dry goods, groceries, canned goods. This is open on the 18th from 4 to 8. Looks like Pleasant Green Baptist Church, 5555 Larimore Avenue, Fellowship Hall. Looks like NOC and some other organizations, Whispering Roots, some other organizations that we recognize here are helping with this. Open to the public while supplies last. Participants will be able to shop for their household with an assistant, no ID required. So we're going to keep on, every time we get sent some of these, put them back out, because we know that a lot of people are struggling with the holidays coming up as well. Also, shout out to Salvation Army, and you can look up where your zip code is and do the sign up if you are going to need some help with the Christmas situation. Of course, we've been posting some other situations coming up for Thanksgiving, where places like Aldi's are offering Thanksgiving dinners for families for $40. And any other resources you can think of like that, please let us know. We'll continue to talk about it. Here's a Thanksgiving pop-up that's happening. North Omaha Community Partnership, Smoke and Barrel Barbecue, Mr. Picnic. Thanksgiving pop-up is happening in Matoris Event Center, 2525 North 37th Street. You can come in for a hot meal. Join us Thanksgiving Day, they say, which is 11/27 from 1 to 6 p.m. for a complimentary warm meal and community. So if you happen to need a warm meal, if you're by yourself during Thanksgiving, there's an issue there. There's a Love Can Thanksgiving pop-up happening on Thanksgiving Day. So more and more of those things that we'll be talking about and bring it out. And anytime you guys post them on Friends of First Sky Omaha, we'll spread the word on those things as well. And you just got to kind of figure out and take care of each other in the end. That's what it's all about.
Man.
Marlon Harris in the chat says a lot of people have been talking about alternative solutions during the blackout because let's remember, people will still have to work, feed themselves, and take care of senior citizens. Very, very, very true. RG says Pleasant Green is over by the DMV. I appreciate that. I was wondering where that was at.
Yeah.
Yep. Love it, man. And we almost got a buddy blast. I saw you was chiming up during the Senators. I knew.
I had to give them their time. Let me calm down.
Appreciate that. I was hoping that after they got off, though, you was gonna have time for it. But there's enough going on in the world that we'll have plenty of buddy blasts to come in a big way. So it's going down, and we'll continue to talk about these things as they go. Anybody go to the comedy show last night too? Too Funny Omaha happened. I wonder who won. We're getting closer to the person opening for DL Hughley. Shout out to Katie Rain, Tim Clark, everybody who's behind putting this on. Let us know if you went to this too and what it was and who won. I kind of want to know who won on this. We're getting closer to that time. Shout out to the Holland Performing Arts for that bringing DL Hughley to Omaha as well, Omaha Performing Arts. And shout out to them working with some local talent here to get some local talent out in front of this stage here. So that's what it's all about, man.
Take it to the stage.
Take it to the stage. I love that. 901, if you believe in the concept of time, of course, how did the people that created the first clock know what time it was? I still don't know that. Any last words, buddy? What you thinking?
Man, thank you to our special guests, Senator Terrell Mckinney and Ashlei Spivey, for always taking the time out of their busy mornings and schedules to come and speak with us, get us informed, get us inspired, get us ready, man. So again, appreciate them for, their transparency, doing their job. And I appreciate all of you for tuning in. No RG didn't come out the specs today. Nobody blast yet. But again, I think y'all feel what I'm feeling and see what I'm seeing as far as just the rampant greed and the people having to come together and fend for ourselves because the people that we elected to fend for us ain't doing it. So there you go. And we'll figure this out together. We all we got. But that's enough. Teamwork makes the dream work. All of those, cliches and things like that, man. You know what it is. Catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Hey, there you go. Follow me on social media if you're not already. Life as God. Got a lot of things going on my personal side, man. A lot of music, a lot of things, a lot of exciting things are brewing. So if you want to catch the journey, check it out.
A lot of stanky things. A lot of
stank. A lot of stank going on.
When they knew they was marketing to me when they put this Stankonia drunk ship coffee out, so I gotta get it.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you, Smelly much. Hey, also I forgot to tell you the Wiz is coming on the 18th as well. Orpheum Performing Arts. Wiz is back on stage, and our own Amber Ruffin is behind a lot of what went down with this iteration. Definitely check it out.
Man,
shout out to Omaha Performing Arts, bringing the heat.
Man, they getting
down. Pop says thanks for starting the week off right. See you all on Wednesday. We do got special guests coming on Wednesday as well, so we definitely will see you there. Spread the word. If you miss any parts of the show, you can go back and check it out on YouTube. Please do. Please like and subscribe while you're over there as well. Still trying to build up the YouTube crowd. some things that we're going to do over there. Be looking for a new episode of Lanes of Change that's coming here pretty soon. This is happening very soon too. So shout out to everybody who's behind working on Lanes of Change. Shout out to you, buddy, for all the work that you've been doing on this as well. Can't wait to see the new episodes. YouTube, though, that's the only place you can check them out for the moment. So definitely check it out. Be looking for hit the bell over there so you can get the notification that they've dropped, and then you can check them out and give us a like on those too, if you would. With that, we're going to get out of here. Shout out to the Umaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thank you for all your comments, your passion, your questions, your respect for our guests, and everything else that happened today. We really appreciate it. And shout out to Senator Terrell Mckinney, Senator Ashlei Spivey for joining us during their busy schedules as well, as they do every Senators Cypher. We only got a few more left before we, as a matter of fact, we only got 2 more left before we end the season with the Senators. So if you got questions for them, come on up. Might even be one. I got to look at the calendar. Might even only be one more visit.
Yeah, look at that.
We'll definitely see. December 15th is typically when we end the season, and that's coming up, man. I looked at the calendar, could not believe it was the 17th of November already. I'm just like, are you kidding? You kidding me? No wonder RG said we happy about these 70-degree days that we getting right here. It's usually walking on mounds of dirty whiteness. Talking about the snow. When I said that, don't you start no mess.
There's that too.
Say again.
So there's that too.
We're gonna get out of here before we start talking too much trash. Love y'all. We'll see y'all Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
By the way, Van Glorious, this is protected by the Red